Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. It's Friday, June 27th. Land in South Texas previously under the control of the International Boundary and Water Commission has been transferred to the General Services Administration and designated as a National Defense Area. The IBWC confirmed to KRGV that the transfer happened on Wednesday, and the Pentagon is using the land to create the, quote, South Texas National Defense Area, unquote. The new National Defense Area will be similar to ones already created this past spring in El Paso, Arizona, and California, as per an executive order signed by President Trump. Mission 911, a local nonprofit organization, is accepting applications for the Project One Water Utility Assistance Program. The program provides financial assistance to qualifying residents struggling with utility costs, ensuring essential water and wastewater services remain accessible during financial hardship. The Utility Assistance Program is funded entirely through sponsorships from the 2025 One Water Summit, hosted by Texas American Water Works Association, Water Environment Association of Texas, and Corpus Christi Water. Residents seeking utility assistance should contact Mission 911 directly at 361-882-0911 to begin the application process. For more information, visit the Project One page at the city's website at corpuschristitx.gov. The southbound lanes of the new Harbor Bridge are scheduled to open tomorrow. Texas Department of Public Safety officials said the bridge's southbound lanes into Corpus Christi will open to the public after a ribbon-cutting ceremony tomorrow morning. The northbound lanes are not expected to open until early next month. Governor Greg Abbott vetoed a bill that would have let victims of human trafficking claim duress as a defense against any crimes they're charged with committing on behalf of their traffickers. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider says Abbott has directed lawmakers to revisit the issue in a special session.
Elizabeth Henneke, CEO of the Lone Star Justice Alliance, says any revised bill needs to make clear that trafficking victims often have had their wills overridden by months or years of grooming and abuse.
By the time a trafficker has asked them to engage in some sort of act, be it smuggling drugs or committing a robbery, if they've already overcome their will and required them to sell their bodies, it's very easy to get them to commit other crimes.
Abbott vetoed the original bill, which passed with strong bipartisan support, saying it was too broad and could allow victims immunity for crimes that had little to do with their being trafficked. The special session begins July 21st. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
The City of Corpus Christi, in collaboration with Prospera Housing Community Services and several single-family developers, have unveiled the Palms at Morris Apartments today. The Palms at Morris site is located on the grounds of the former Lamar Elementary School, alongside adjacent vacant single-family lots. 35 infill housing units on vacant lots will be built throughout the surrounding area. Accommodations are provided upon request and in accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. For assistance or to request an accommodations, please call 361-826-3211. Today's ceremony can be replayed on the City of Corpus Christi's Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram social media channels. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office will host a VTR 68A inspection event on July 11th from noon to 4 p.m. in the back parking lot of the Sheriff's Office at 115 West Main Street in Edna. VTR 68A inspections are for trailers or vehicles that do not have a VIN number or where it cannot be verified by law enforcement. According to the Sheriff's Office, only one deputy is authorized to conduct these inspections, so the service is only available during the designated time slot. The department plans to offer one inspection day each month. Inspections are free for Jackson County residents and cost $40 for residents outside the county. For more information, contact the Sheriff's Office at 361-782-3371. The Corpus Christi Public Works Department will offer residents free pre-filled sandbags tomorrow. The event takes place at Cabaniss Athletic Complex from 1 to 4 p.m. or until all bags have been distributed. Residents can receive up to 8 free sandbags per vehicle. Drivers are asked to have a clear area in the trunk or bed of their vehicle to store the sandbags. Drivers and passengers must remain inside their vehicles while sandbags are loaded. The U.S. Supreme Court cleared the way for a Texas man to fight for DNA testing he says could get him off death row. KERA's Toluwani Osibamowo reports the High Court put a last-minute stop to the execution of Ruben Gutierrez last year to weigh his case.
Gutierrez was sentenced to death for the 1998 murder of Escolastica Harrison in her Brownsville home. He claims that while he helped rob Harrison, he didn't kill her. But prosecutors refused to conduct DNA testing Gutierrez says would prove that. An appeals court cited a Texas law that only allows DNA testing if it can overturn a conviction, and Gutierrez was still found guilty as an accomplice. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 to let Gutierrez challenge that law. The evidence could save Gutierrez from execution, but likely won't get him out of prison. I'm Toluwani Osibamowo in Dallas.
Texas is stepping up its defense against a dangerous livestock pest. As KERA's Catherine Hobbs reports, Governor Greg Abbott has directed the creation of the Texas New World Screwworm Response Team.
The joint effort between the Texas Animal Health Commission and Texas Parks and Wildlife comes as the New World Screwworm, eradicated in the U.S. since the 1960s, continues to spread north through Mexico, now reaching as far north as Oaxaca. Officials say the new team will coordinate training, public outreach, and rapid response efforts in case the parasite crosses into Texas. New World screwworm infestations could have tremendous animal health and economic impacts in Texas and throughout the United States. Dr. Bud Dings with TAHC says staff have been preparing for a year, and the team will bolster efforts to protect the land, livestock, and wildlife. I'm Catherine Hobbs in Dallas.
San Antonio researchers have created a new training module to teach first responders best practices for interacting with people with autism. Texas Public Radio's Jackie Velez reports the goal is to give police and EMTs tools other than restraint when responding to a crisis.
Leslie Neely has seen the consequences of poor interactions with police and EMTs all too often.
I've actually testified on cases where there was kind of the ultimate injury, right? Where somebody actually passed away from a restraint.
As a behavioral therapist, Neely teaches children with autism how to communicate in positive ways. But as a psychology professor, she realized that component is absent from most first responders training.
Just that little piece, learning how to communicate differently, was completely absent. Looking at body language, trying to give them time to process.
So she and her research team decided to bridge the gap by creating new training. UTSA doctoral student Kim Cantu Davis interviewed autistic adults who told her their best interactions were with police officers who took a beat and gave them extra time and space.
It was really interesting to hear their perspectives on it, because we would think, okay, you just comply, right? But sometimes when you're overstimulated, it's hard to be able to do that.
Together, they wrote steps for first responders to follow, like give 6 feet of space and pause for 30 seconds between speaking. Cantu Davis says, once they've calmed down, they can be motivated with a toy or a song to get them to engage. The steps have been fine-tuned for first responders to follow. Neely and Cantu Davis are piloting an AI program so EMTs and officers can use it to practice scenarios they'll find in the field. The hope is once they know better, everyone will be safer for it. I'm Jackie Velez in San Antonio.
The city of Dallas is renaming 3 lakes along the Trinity River in honor of Native American tribes with historical roots in North Texas. As KERA's Pablo Pena reports, the Dallas City Council voted unanimously to name them the Three Sisters Lakes.
Rachel Salinas is a member of the Lipan Apache tribe of Texas. She says her ancestors hunted, traded, and traveled throughout what is now Dallas long before it was a city.
By naming the lakes after 3 historic tribes with ties to North Texas, you are not only recognizing our heritage, but you are also bringing visibility to the Native community of Dallas and North Texas.
Each of the Three Sisters Lakes was renamed with the word for sister in the Apache, Comanche, and Wichita languages. I'm Pablo Arauz Peña in Dallas.
Next Friday is the 4th of July, and Corpus Christi Fire Department wants to remind that possessing or discharging fireworks inside the city limits, including the beach, is illegal. If cited, you could be fined up to $2,000 per package of fireworks. The phone number to report fireworks is 361-886-COPS or 361-886-2677. Please do not call 911 for fireworks complaints. Residents are encouraged to visit one of the professional fireworks displays throughout the city on the 4th of July, including the Big Bang fireworks show. That's next Friday at 9:30 p.m. along the seawall. For more information on fireworks discharge and safety tips, contact the City Fire Marshal's office at 361-826-3930. And in sports, it was the Rio Grande Valley All-Star softball game as the West All-Stars took down the East All-Stars 15-11 in last night's game. The East All-Stars took an early 3-0 lead thanks to big hits in the third inning from Harlingen South stars Kaylee Silva and Lexi Sandoval. Silva blasted a 2-run homer to left to open up the run scoring, and Sandoval followed that up with a triple, later scoring on an infield grounder. That lead would balloon to 6-0 for the East, but the West All-Stars came back in the 5th inning. A 2-run double from Paris Medeiros started a rally that wound up in 6 runs for the West in that inning. They followed that up with 9 runs in the 6th, led by MVP Alexa Avila as the West took the victory 15-11. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. If you missed any of today's stories, you can replay this and other episodes of South Texas Midday wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.